UAP are airborne objects that, when encountered, cannot be immediately identified. With regard to the importance of transparency, the Department is fully committed to the principle of openness and accountability to the American people.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh my gosh, dude.
U.S. Navy personnel recorded what appears to be triangles, some flashing. The video was taken through night vision goggles with a single lens reflex camera.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty high-profile incident. I don't claim to be an expert. You're the guys investigating it. I mean, who else is doing it?
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to UFO We Want to Know. This is August 17th, 2024, and thank you for joining me. Before I begin the show, as I always do, this is dedicated to those who have been ridiculed, made fun of, and dragged through the media for the last 76 plus years. How important is that to say before you begin a show that shows UFOs throughout? On the first segment, I have 3 videos and 19 photos to show you. So let's get on with the first video. What you're noticing here is this is across the street from the studio, the station here, and I usually take photos and videos when I leave each time I come here to videotape. This was interesting, this UFO. It seemed to just hover around and then move. Now I have 3 such videos today where the object moves and then it stops and then it moves again. Now that has to be intelligently controlled vehicle, correct? It's not an airplane, it's not a helicopter. I used my 1600 zoom to take a look at this object. And when we start showing you the pictures, you'll understand. Now what I did with this one here, and after this loop here, we can go ahead and go to the first photo because I want to show you what I did with this. This object here, I took a kind of an infrared look at it. And by doing that, that gives me some colorization of the actual craft. And so what you're looking at is a craft that, well, obviously defies gravity, but it also gives you an understanding that there was an object up there in our atmosphere, no doubt about it. And what I did was I turned this into like you would do like a weather forecaster. They look into a different infrared scope or a different spectrum, and that's what I did with this one here. Now I was just playing around with it. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. This was taken on July 28th, by the way, 2024, and all my videos today, they range from May 29th through July 28th of this year. So that's what we would do if you were, say, trying to see weather out there and the density of it. And that's what I'm showing you here. It's basically the same thing. Now, it may not be scientific, but it is, at its basic form, that's what you're looking at here. So there was something up there with mass. So let's go on to, without utilizing that system, this is what we have. You can see there's some density on the upper right of this craft. And that's what I got. Now this is taking it on regular motion, and you're used to seeing that. So here's what we got, both of them side by side, and I thought that was quite interesting. Now I do a lot of experimenting, and even though, as I said, it's not scientific, but it's, as an analyst for nearly 25 years, I've done work like this before. So it's nothing new to me, but it's something that I thought that would be fascinating for especially people who operate in the infrared spectrum, if they're utilizing a lot of technical devices. I thought that would be interesting for people to see. So let's go on to the next video. This one taken on July 28th at 4:42 p.m. And this one here, ladies and gentlemen, is across the street from this studio also. Now we had to zoom in a little bit on it because of the fact that this object seemed to split in two, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it was giving off kind of an arcing motion. And I thought that was quite interesting, that a craft could put out that much power that it seemed to break into two. Now when I go to the photos, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But as you follow this particular craft, it seems to just linger there. But then it makes kind of an erratic move. It looks like one is pushing the other or one is towing the other. And I'm not sure if that's exactly what was going on. And as I said, when you see the photos, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So after this here, we can begin with the photos and let you understand what I was seeing under the magnifier. So this is what I could see under a ×40 magnifier. And again, you didn't see it move very much, did you, during the video? But nonetheless, this is what was up there. Now, here's the interesting part. Now, this is a snapshot. And even though it wasn't moving very fast in the atmosphere up there, it still left off this kind of photo analysis as far as I'm concerned. It looked like it was giving off something, or like I said, it was maybe towing, one towing the other, or one pushing the other. Who knows? Was there two craft there? Close up of it. You can see the density on both of them. And then you got that intermediate area in the center that seems to be a part of both crafts. I generally think that there was two crafts here. This is about the closest I could get with it without distorting. And make no mistake, this was up there. I know this isn't a paper bag flying in our atmosphere. This was an object or objects floating in our atmosphere, and they seem to be giving off some kind of electrical charge that could be, think about it for a minute, this could be, that could be a electrical charge from one to the other. Who knows, is one giving off a charge to fuel the other, help it along? There's a possibility. I don't think I've ever seen this, before on any videos, where two craft look like they're exchanging some kind of electromagnetic power. It could be plasma, for all we know. We don't know. We're just guessing. And tell me what you think. Write to me at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com. Please get in touch with me. I appreciate it. If not, you can go to YouTube and just type in simply Pahrump Alien Guy, and I'll answer all your questions and I'll answer you back. After this, we can go to the next video. As you can see, this one here, he started to arc down. I like this particular video here because in the video when I was watching it real close up, I was using my 1600 zoom, and I noticed that it kind of hesitated, and then it would move again, then it would hesitate, and then move again. Obviously, an airplane will not do that. Obviously, this was not a helicopter. The shape of it, when you see the photos, you'll know what I'm talking about. This one has a shape that I have seen before. I have seen this shape before, and I couldn't tell you exactly what video it is because I've caught in this shape at least 10 different times. And I'm putting a notebook together of all the UFOs that look very similar to each other, and that way maybe I can track them a little bit better when I'm going through the different time frames that I was videotaping or taking photos. As a matter of fact, last night I took night vision photos last night just before dusk, and I found quite a few UFOs. But remember, that's in the night vision. If you go out around dusk and you have the night vision capability on your phone or your camera, take pictures. You'll find that you're going to catch UFOs quite a bit. After this, we can go to the first photo. And there's where I was pointing at right there for Mikey, the director, to focus in on it. And here's the shape I was talking about. As we zoom in, you're going to see closer and closer image of it. It gave off a little bit of, I guess you would say, I'm not going to say, like numbers or any kind of doors or windows, but it seemed to have character to it as we look closer at this UFO. So if you've seen this UFO before, let me know. Write me at UFO we want to know at gmail.com and let me know, or go, like I said, to YouTube, Pahrump Alien Guy, and let me know if you've seen this before. I think I've seen this before. This is the last photo of that, but I want you to concentrate on the center, where it looks like it had more density than around it, but it had definitely some plasma field around it. If you just look around the object itself, that is clearly some kind of protection of the craft. As I said many times before, these craft are not touching our atmosphere, and I'm sure they have some kind of protection they used during World War II. Pilots said they were shooting at them, and either they bounced off the craft or they absorbed them. So if they absorb bullets or whatever they've thrown at it, they have to have a protective shield. And I think that's what you're looking at there. Please stay with us for the second segment.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO We Want to Know, and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thank you for staying with us for the second segment. We got 3 videos and 13 photos to show you. On the next 2 videos, you're going to really have to concentrate, especially the second one. But on this first one here, I was going through the clouds, kind of focusing on the clouds, I'm sorry. And I noticed this dark area in this one cloud. And I kept going over it with my 1600 zoom. And it moved so little, but it did move. It could have been the clouds in the background, I don't know. But I believe this was a craft in that cloud formation up there. So let's get on with the first video and let's take a look at it. You see that right there? Okay. Now the other, if you look to your left, you'll see some dark areas there. I looked at those, and those were kind of curious to me. But out of the 6 or so dark areas up there, the one on the right, the one that we were pointing at, that's the one that I wanted to focus on because it has a shape that I've seen before. Now, I know that some scientists are going to say I'm reaching, and whether or not I've gotten many UFOs in cloud formations, many. I have a lot of UFOs caught in California when I was videotaping clouds all the time, because in California, because you're closer to the ocean, you get a lot of cloud formations up there. And that's what I was doing. And this one kind of reminded me of that time frame when I was doing that. So after this, we'll go ahead and go to the first photo, and we'll get down to show you what we're talking about here. Okay, so there it is. That's how far away it is. This was facing west of my location where I live. That's the street there. And that's where that was at, looking towards the California border. And here's a close-up as we get close up to it. Now those are white clouds around it, of course. And so as I got closer to it, I was noticing I've caught in this shape before. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a UFO because it has some electromagnetic field around it. And that's how I came to the conclusion that this was not just a spot in the clouds. Now, if you have a white cloud and also you have a dark area there, take a look at it because it's suspect. And that's the first thing I thought of. Now, meteorologists or people who study cloud formations and what's in the clouds are probably going to argue the fact that this could have been anything. But when they say it could have been anything, they don't give me any specifics. Here on UFO We Want to Know at gmail.com, we tell you what we think they are, or I should say, I tell you. And I can care less about what they say because they're not going to tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth. And if I am reaching, I apologize for those who think I am. But you look at this and it gives you, even if you're a non-believer, it is something out there. Let's go to the next video. Now here's one that you're really going to have to really look at your television. Now I had my director Mikey keep the arrow there for a long period of time because you have to look at what that arrow is pointing at. And I know that in the past I've said, I've told you that I'm half blind here and there, but this just goes to show you how meticulous I am when it comes to looking for things that are in the videos and the photos that I've taken. If you look carefully, I'd say about an inch down from that arrow, there is an object. Now this object may have been appearing or maybe disappearing at the time when I was videotaping it. Who knows? But all I can say is there was an object there, and it had 3 lights on it. But this does not do you any justice. And you look at this. Oh, after this, we'll go to the first photo. And I surrounded it real far away. I wanted to give you an indication how far away this was. That's my tip of my house there. And we're going to zoom in, and there's the 3 lights that I saw. Now, I saw this on my 1600 zoom, and that's how I caught it. Now, when I moved it around, I didn't see anything else but these 3 lights. That's as close as I'm going to get with it. But there was 3 lights there, very dim. But by zooming in on that particular area, I was able to show that, I saw something that was there, but maybe they didn't want to be seen. There are a lot of people around the world who claim that they were just looking up, laying down, looking up at the sky, which a lot of people do around the world, and all of a sudden they see something appear. I don't believe that they're using their imagination and it's running wild with them. I believe that when people say they saw something that they can't explain, and they said it had 1 or 2 lights, 3 lights, I believe them because I've caught many craft giving off very little viewing for us to see. And maybe I wasn't meant to see this because when I was going through my video on this particular video, I passed it several times, but I always went back to it. Now this was up in the upper right corner. This is where I start looking for things, and then I go across. I go from right all the way to my left. I go down, go from the left all the way to my right, go down, I go to my right all the way to my left. So I cover the complete video. And when I first saw this, I said, well, there's something there, but I'm going to have to work at this. And that's what I did. I went to my times 40 magnifier, and then I went to the 1600 magnifier, and it was there. So it was something kind of nudging me towards, hey, don't give up. There is something there. Who knows? For those that out there that are mystics and believe in a higher calling, so to speak, they would understand this. I've had mystics tell me things that kind of blew my mind, but they're not crazy. They're into their mind. They understand their mind and their body. So let's go to the next and last video of this session. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have another arrow pointing at another UFO. We do this for the audience to see. We want to make sure that you understand where we're starting from. We had to slow this down 30%. This was taken on July 22nd at 11:31 a.m., heading northeast from my location. And these UFOs, I make sure that when I'm videotaping, I don't see any airplane traffic. I want to make this very clear because on the very, very last segment and show, part of the show, we're going to show exactly what I'm talking about here. I always try to make sure I'm not looking at airplanes or helicopters or anything that is terrestrial. I make sure that for a very, very important reason, and that is that there are so many of these UFOs in our skies that I don't want to make the mistake of saying, well, this is a UFO when it could be an airplane operating close to Pahrump, Nevada, or even far away where it may throw you off. So I'm always careful at what I videotape and what I show you as far as stop motion is concerned. I want to be able to give you credible information and also viewing. If I made mistakes, I apologize, but for the most part, I really do think that these are probes and UFOs that are monitoring our country and other countries around the world for that matter. But the United States is the most powerful country in the world. We have a lot going for us here. And I'm sure that the intelligent beings know that. So after this loop, we'll go ahead and go to the first photo. And there's how far away it was. When we show you the videos, we zoom in. But I just wanted to give you an idea how far away this UFO was. It wasn't real close. It's pretty far away. That area that I was videotaping in was probably maybe 50 yards away from me. And that UFO is probably another, I would say 15 miles away, somewhere around there. It wasn't close up. And with the characteristics of the UFO itself tells you that this was a solid object. If they want to claim it's a helicopter or something else, I don't see how they can make that statement. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I've had, and the reason why I bring things up like this, ladies and gentlemen, because I have people contact me and they tell me, well, Joseph, could it have been this or could it have been that? And I don't tell them that they're wrong. I understand what they're saying, and then I analyze what they're saying, and then I kind of go back and look at what I did on that particular show. Because I get a lot of comments that tell me, you're getting an awful lot of UFOs. How is that possible? This one here has some spears around it, but a lot of plasma. And I feel that this particular UFO here If I had, of course, better magnifications on my equipment, I probably could have gotten a more solid base, but I didn't want to spend too much more time on it because I had time restraints to get to the show here. But contact me at on YouTube, Pahrump Alien Guy, or on this station here. Would be more than glad to answer your question. I hope you stay with me for the next segment because it's a really good one, and like they all are. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO We Want to Know, and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thanks for staying with us for the third segment. We have 3 videos and 12 photos to show you. And these UFOs here that I'm going to be showing you here were dated in the month of July. The last one is in June, actually. But I wanted to stress that some of these UFOs, they may be kind of hard to see, but through magnifiers, there's no doubt about it that these are craft and they're not terrestrial. So let's begin with the first video. And what I did here was this was taken at 11:30 a.m. on July 22nd, 2024. And what I did is I made this into a negative to give you an idea of this particular craft here because I wanted to show you what it was emitting. This UFO appeared, then started to shimmer and became very bright. It was emitting a lot of ELF, and which is electromagnetic field, but nonetheless, this particular craft was kind of curious to the people who are not used to watching these types of things. And when they see them for the first time, they usually use some colorful wording, but this craft came in very, very sharp. Look how deep white this craft is. And at this time, it's giving off a lot of electromagnetic charge or field, possibly plasma. Whatever it's giving off, this craft showed that it could appear and disappear before your eyes. It was flashing. Now these aren't navigation lights, I can assure you that, because you can't see it, but in the very beginning, it actually came out of what I thought was a tear in space, black hole, whatever it was. It all of a sudden appeared because on the beginning of the video, there was a few seconds before this, and it wasn't there. But all of a sudden, it appeared. So if there's some kind of a dimensional vortex there, that's where this craft came out of. And I was concentrating on that cloud formation there as I was going through it. And I really didn't think I was going to catch anything light. It's usually in the clouds where I catch these craft. After this, we'll go to the first photo. We'll take a closer look and see what we were looking at. That's how far away it was. Again, I tell people that when I videotape and I show them on television, they see them and it looks like it's real close. It's not. Look how far away this was. That was miles and miles away, possibly 20 or so miles. Close-up of it, and you'll notice that all around it, there's some solid dark area around it. I believe that's the electromagnetic charge that it was giving off. Here's a closer view of it. Those aren't pixels around it connected to it. It's solid. Okay, you can see the pixels around the black, but those are truly pixels. And that's the last photo I took of it. I wanted to get a real close-up of it. And I've got this shape before, and I'm sure that this is going to be part of my collection of shapes when I get a solid shape like that. I keep in mind that it could be the same craft or maybe the same manufacturing, wherever it came from, what planetary system it came from. Let's go to the next video. Now, this was the second video. This is not the same object. You can believe that. The shape was totally different, and this was a different time frame. This was taken 11:29 a.m., just 1 minute before the other video on July 22nd, 2024. Once you look at the core, then you realize how much of the magnetic field is around this UFO when we start to zero in on the actual pictures. It's so important for people who are just starting to get into this phenomenon. Whenever you see a UFO, look around it. Don't just look at the UFO itself. That's where most people make the error. They look at the UFO and right away in a snap decision, they can tell you what it is. But take a look around it. Now, I've taken many pictures of birds, specifically blackbirds, crows, ravens, and we have them here around Pahrump. And I've taken them, and there's no magnetic field around it. There's no film around it. They're just birds. They're just there. And I've taken them, they could be a mile away, and I've taken photos of them, and on close-ups you can actually see they're birds. But they don't give off this an electromagnetic charge. And that's what I try to tell people. Don't take a look at a UFO and make the decisions there. You have to analyze it. And maybe that's why I get so many UFOs. I get hundreds of UFOs every month. And I mean that, hundreds. And I can prove that because my database doesn't lie. I have the times, the dates, and locations of every video and photo that I've taken. And this gives you an idea that if you're meticulous and trying to find something that you believe is there, if maybe it crossed your path, analyze it, take a look at it, show people it. They're there. There's nobody's going to back you up in the government. A place like NASA or SETI, all they're thinking about is how much money can we get from the taxpayers to do the next big project. Maybe a project that's not going to show transparency. And I know I talk a lot negativity about these groups, but it is what it is. For 76 years, they've had their way with the American public, and it's about time that somebody tells them what they think of them. And even though I'm a patriot, believe me, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, I don't believe that they show enough transparency. After this, we'll go to the next, we'll go to the first photo. And there's how far away it is again. That just to let you know that when I take a video, I am looking not close up, I'm looking far away. And you'll notice that in the center of this, you can see a little bit of a vortex area. Now, if you look in the dead center in the bottom, there is a dark object in that cloud. I didn't focus on that. That was another UFO, but I wanted to focus on the one in the upper right to it, the light one. As we zero in on this, I want you to look at the nucleus, like I said before, and I want you to see how it is surrounded by this electromagnetic charge. If this is a anti-gravity propulsion system that they're using, it's giving off a lot. It's just as big, if not bigger, than the craft itself. I believe that center of this craft here, that is the nucleus of it, the center mass. Scientists have said this before, I'll repeat it, what they said, that they believe that is the center mass, and that's cold. It's an indicator that is cold. The surrounding area, they can't figure out, is even colder. So in some cases, scientists have said that center part is heat and the outer part is cold, which is mind-boggling to our physics because That doesn't make any sense when you think about it. So which is it? Is it cold? Is it hot? Which one? Scientists to this day, and we're talking about mainstream scientists. I'm not talking about all scientists. There are scientists now that are coming out and are actually challenging other scientists on the notion that, well, we don't know, and all we're doing is guessing. So is guessing part of science now? The UFO phenomenon, I believe, is truly the only form of science that confuses our people on this planet. Their physics are not applied here simply because these craft fly at fantastic speeds and they traverse our atmosphere at any given time. And I don't think scientists understand that, and they don't want to believe what they hear. So let's go on to the last video here. And the arrow points the way. This craft went all across, and then just before it leaves the center of the screen, it starts to go arc up. The interesting thing about this UFO, it was giving off a lot of electromagnetic charge as it was going through, high voltage. And as I zeroed in, you're going to be able to see something because I tried something that I've never tried before. I used a new filtering system that gave me a different look at the UFO. It didn't give me a sharp, round, solid mass. It gave me a lot of circles around it. And I'm not exactly sure if I should have done that, but I said, I'm going to keep it for the show and let the people make up their minds for themselves. Sometimes when I do this, it's not to be stupid, but I do it because it is part of what I consider science. We don't know what this craft actually looked like, this UFO. It was giving off entrails. It was going quite fast. And for the most part, we slowed it down 80%. We slowed this down 80%. So if we would have played it in fast motion, you wouldn't have seen it. So let's go on to the first photo. There's the tower right above me, and there's where the UFO was. And this is what I'm talking about, the software. Take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. Why I didn't get a solid base. There, you can see a nucleus in there, but that's just part of the software and how it worked. Now, I might not do this again because it doesn't give you a lot of clarity, but if you think you have something in mind I could use as far as software, let me know at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com or contact me on YouTube, the Pahrump Alien Guy. I'll be more than happy to take your information and use it. And I appreciate your input. That always helps me out. Please stay with us for the last segment.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO We Want to Know, and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thank you for staying with the last segment. I want to start off real fast with the videos because I've got a lot of pictures to show you. I have 2 videos and 17 photos. So let's get on with the first video. Here's a UFO, ladies and gentlemen, that seems to have a mind of its own. It was stopping, it moved, it repeated this over and over again. Obviously intelligently controlled. We don't have airplanes that stop in midair, unless it's F-22 Raptor that's in an air show, but I can guarantee you there was no sound up there. This craft moved, then it stopped, then it moved again. It seemed to maybe try to get its bearings. Who knows? But this was a really interesting one, and I kept looking at it through my 40 times viewer, and there was definitely a shape to it, and you're going to see that in a moment as we, after this loop, we'll go ahead and go to the first photo. You see how it stops and then moves. And there's where we stopped it. See how far away this was. This is a close-up of it. Again, I can see this on my times 40 magnifiers and my 1600. My viewfinders are very, very fine, and they work for me very well since my eyesight is so terrible that I trust them immensely. They're my right arm, so to speak. But take a look at this. This was the craft that was coming down. I know that there are some scientists who find this interesting. They can always get in touch with me at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com or Pahrump Alien Guy on YouTube. You have all my raw footage. Just all you have to do is ask for it. Let's go on to the next video. And this is going to be the last video of the show, ladies and gentlemen. But this one here, I saved for last. It goes all the way across the screen. Taken on May 29, 2024 at 11:42 a.m. Another thing about this craft right here, ladies and gentlemen, it was shape-shifting. And when we show you the actual pictures, you'll see what I'm talking about. It kind of reminded me of an inchworm. As I slowed it down and used my magnifiers, it looks like an inchworm. So after this, we're going to go to the first photo, and you'll see it. But look at this rocket across the sky. No noise, just rocketing across the sky. There's why I stop motioned it. And as we zoom in, you're going to notice it looked like an inchworm. Nonetheless, this UFO was rocketing across our skies, making no noise, just moving. We actually slowed that one down also. And if you don't slow these down, you're really not going to see what I'm trying to convey to you over the television, because it's just something you have to see to believe. Now recently I've had a couple of people tell me, Joseph, you know you're taking airplanes flying over Pahrump. I make sure that I don't hear any noise. You can hear the jet engines 99% of the time. But in some cases, you don't. Let's go on to the first photo. I want to show what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an airplane. 4-engine airplane flying through our atmosphere. Probably around 30, 40, 50 miles away from Pahrump, Nevada, but it was flying over. And I'm going to show you a comparison at the end of what I took of this airplane. And this airplane, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is zoomed in a little bit. So you can see the outline of it. You can clearly see it's got a fuselage, it's got wings, and it's got a tail. You can clearly see that. You can also see that it's giving off 2 chemtrails in the back of the jet. There's actually 4 chemtrails, but you can't see it from this position because there's 4 engines on that jet airliner. That jet airliner was heading east, looked like it came out of California. And I thought that was something I could show on television in comparison to this one here. Now this one here was taken pretty close in distance to the other one. Zooming in using filtering systems on it, it started to give me this image here. This is not an airplane though. Looks more like a cylinder. It looks like a cylinder that has electromagnetic charge all around it, doesn't it? Now, it was giving off a little bit of chemtrail, but for the most part, this was not a jet aircraft. Not a jet aircraft. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the electromagnetic charge was the reason why it looked like it was leaving off some kind of chemtrail. I'm not really sure. There's a possibility that's the reason why it was. And some people say, well, if it's giving off a chemtrail, and I use the word entrail, they tell me, well, if it's giving off some kind of chemtrail, it's a jet engine. Well, I'm sorry, but this doesn't have a wing on it. It doesn't have a tail on it. But it's giving off a lot of electromagnetic field. I don't know how else I can explain this to people. I know that scientists know deep down inside, they know that what I'm saying is true. Whether or not they'll come out and admit it, I doubt it, because the powers that be are not going to allow that. Since I'm not in a congressional hearing, I can say things that I want to say. And I don't have people asking me questions that are to the point where I can't answer them because of classified information that might get me in trouble. Everything I say and do on my show is not classified. The skies we're not being charged to take pictures in the sky. It's free. And when I take videos and photos of the sky, they better not charge me, because it's the same thing as breathing air. These are not classified because I'm not in and around any Air Force base, any military base, period. I'm in Pahrump, Nevada. We're lucky we have McDonald's out here. But the point here is that this is not an airplane. So let's look at the second round. Look how far away this one was, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think this was an airplane, let's zoom in on it a little bit. Here you go. You got that same shape. You got a center mass. And in that center mass, you had electromagnetic field around it. Now what I did is I used a different filter system at the end. This is the end of that actual photo. But what I did was I used a different filter system to get rid of the electromagnetic charge, just to see the nucleus of what I was looking at. Now, if this was an airliner, you would see something of a tail, at least in the back. There is nothing there. This is a cigar shape, maybe. It could be a flying saucer shape. For all we know, we don't know. Let us know what you think this is at UFOWeWantToKnow@gmail.com, or simply type in on YouTube, Pahrump Alien Guy, and let me know. And please give me a liking. It really helps me out. And also, if you'd like to subscribe to me, I'll be forever grateful. It's important for me to get feedback from people out there who see my videos every week. This is the comparison of the two, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, I try to get the same distance. And just to let you know, this isn't the only one I have of this particular UFO leaving what looks like a chemtrail. I think what that is, that might be cold air, because it was flying quite fast. When I took these pictures, they were on a tripod, both of them. And what I usually look at is I'm usually looking north when I capture a lot of these. Not all the time, but for the most part, they're usually north, maybe coming out of Vandenberg. Who knows? But I do know that the one on the left is a passenger jet, and the one on the right is a UFO. So if you want to argue the point, that would be useless with me anyway, because I'm going to stick to what I believe is a true UFO. And we're talking about just last month, ladies and gentlemen, that I took these. And I only did this because I had I had a gentleman tell me, you could be taking pictures of a secret plane that's coming out of Vandenberg or Area 51 or whatever. Here's the problem with that. If it is a top secret plane, missile, whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it, should they be flying over populated areas? I don't think that would be a smart thing to do, because if it is man-made, there's always a possibility of it malfunctioning and landing in somebody's backyard. And out here in Pahrump, this is not a small area. Pahrump is spread out, and you can very easily crash into somebody's home out here. So if they are flying these test planes, whatever they want to call them, they should stay out of Pahrump. That ends my video show here, and I want to tell you where I'm going to be tomorrow. It's at here at Aliante, and I hope you can join us out there. There's a lot of vendors going to be there. It should be jam-packed from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be there with the Tumbler Lady. She has a lot of new product that's come out. You've probably seen it on Facebook, and she'll be there and be more than happy to sell her product to you. I want to thank you for joining me this week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO We Want to Know and remember, yes, they are out there.